Hello, my name is Mr.Bonesworths, and today I'm showing my personal build for Impossible Potty Hat Pig. Before I go into detail of what I use for my build, let's explain what it exactly does. Potty hats are, well, the reverse bear traps. When a survivor goes to try to take them off, they have to go through difficult skill checks that are affected by the perks Hunter's Lullaby and the two add-ons shown here. That being Razor Rise, which make it so the skill check zones are smaller and fair them will injure them, and the Grey add-on Interlocking Razor, which, when they miss the skill check, they become afflicted with Deep Wound, basically what Legion does. And when you compare these two together, you get a nasty little effect. However, most confident survivors do not really get affected by these skill checks. They're still okay to hit. They can make them a bit more tricky with Huntress Lullaby, which delays the progress of the sound, and at 5 hooks, it just goes away, so they have to be really paying attention. And if they miss one, you also get an additional 6% off skill check, which makes the boxes take longer if you fail them. Now, this is unique for Huntress Lullaby. No other picks really do this to killer skill checks. Like, you can't put on Huntress Lullaby for Doctor and expect his skill checks to become more difficult, or you can't do it for Pinhead, or any other killer. Pig is the only one that's been able to do this ever since 2019, from what I could find and research. This is also the only perk on Pig that affects skill checks for traps. Unnerving Presence, the only other one that I know of, doesn't, in fact, make the skill check smaller. And even if it does, it will get rid of part of power, which is the stealth element, which I try to highlight with the other perk in this build, and so on and so forth. Speaking of that other perk, Face the Darkness is a perk which, after you injure the survivor, a undertone will activate, and every 25 seconds, anyone who's not that survivor will scream and reveal their aura for 2 seconds. This is really good on Pig, since you can interrupt the box and also reveal locations across the map, or right next to you that you might not know of if you were crouching. To highlight this perk a bit more and protect your Huntress Lullaby, just in case if it spawns right next to the survivor at the start of the game, is Lethal Pursuer, which adds an additional 2 seconds to Face the Darkness and shows the auras of all survivors across the map if they don't have distortion for 9 seconds. The last perk we're going to talk about is the lovely Mr. Storm, a perk that you'll see way too much on Doctor. Mr. Storm activates during the last 10% of a gen, of which you get a series of skill checks. If you miss that one, you get the regression, which will now be 60% with Huntress Lullaby, and it'll be blocked for 20 seconds. Think about a lockdown that activates on every gen if they're just bad. Though I wouldn't say they're bad, more that you're making the skill checks to hit and possibly interrupting it with Face the Darkness or your own stabby hand. Now, why I like this build in particular is it's very effective and it gives them a challenge. It's not impossible. It's somewhat a easy build to counter if you're lazy and just don't put the work into it. Or very well with Pig. What I mean is, if you're lazy, if you just sit back and don't try to go after people who are on gens or even doing boxes. Although, in reality, you should be really not worrying too much of the boxes, because if they're on a box, they're not on a gen. If they're not on a gen, you got plenty of time. I also find this build to synergize well with each other, since, like I said before, Mr. Storm is improved by Huntress Lullaby, which then Huntress Lullaby also improves these two add-ons. Face the Darkness protects Huntress Lullaby by possibly interrupting or making the survivors think they're cleansing Lullaby, when in fact it's Darkness itself. The Pursuer also protects Hunter's Lullaby while improving the aura reading of Face the Darkness. And Face the Darkness can improve Mistless Storm if they get the interruption just in time. And it keeps going around. Now get rid of one of these, well, now you're significantly weaker, but if Pig is not too bad of a killer to use, you've got the ambush, and you still have traps, which they always have to remove, otherwise, pop. The best way to use this build is try to go for a grab at the beginning. Use your stealth right off the bat. Get lethal. Go up right before they can hear your terrorist. Crouch and try to go for the grab. It takes a second for Pig to get out of the crouch animation. It's not like Ghostface. But if you do that, you'll immediately press it. You want to get a down, as many downs in fact, as possible. Because the first skill check a survivor gets, and they hit, they'll know that Hunter's Lullaby is active. And if they know, they could start looking for it, and causing so many other problems. Also, don't be afraid to put on multiple potty hats, because Merciless Storm will cause them to panic. The first gen they do, they won't know you have this, and when it starts going, boom, 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 they'll try to complete it. Most likely, Hunter's Lullaby won't have many stacks, so they'll hit the skill checks, and then the timers will activate. The whole trick of 99 gens so you can allow your teammates to get their traps off won't work. This will apply really heavy pressure, cause to panic more, and so on and so forth. You'll also want to do a bit of hit and run sometimes, because Face of the Darkness is a champion in this build as well. Being able to interrupt Merciless Storm, Conservative Totem, or the traps will be so useful. Especially since it's possible to complete your trap before the deep wound gets you. And I've seen survivors do that, and sometimes they fall on the ground before it happens because they keep missing skill checks. Prioritize hooks. If you do that, Hunter's Lullaby gets stronger, and Merciless Storm also likewise gets stronger. And again, I would recommend Face the Darkness over Undying, because Undying also reveals itself if they just walk by a dull totem, and doesn't really do much. Meanwhile, Face the Darkness can protect Hunter's Lullaby while doing its own little passive thing. I've done extensive testing with multiple perks, and this is the one that works best for me. I've got Eerie 1 from this build alone during the anniversary. I've also got to Eerie 1 before by many tests. Other perks do work, but this is what I believe to be the most effective. Do I recommend doing this every time? All the time? No. Even though I made it not as unbearable as it could possibly be, it's still somewhat annoying to face. Especially since no one likes Amended Simulator. Legion. But hey, I thought this would be a good video to put out before the Alien release, and while it still works. Next video might be either a only build, a build to counter Buckle Up and For the People, or ways to counter the new Alien perk, the Xenobite, that's coming out tomorrow. Which, the For the People and Buckle Up combo I just find annoying because it makes a chase that you had probably a while to do, because Made for This is a little bit annoying on some killers. And if there's a survivor nearby, they just pick them back up and they both get endurance, which is as fair as it sounds. And the new Alien perk I have seen be used more for telling the person that just gotten hooked, and that's no fun either. But hey, I hope this build will be enjoyable for you, and perhaps you can have other perks that join the roster later on that improves it, or maybe they'll fix Hunter's Lullaby being combination with these, or maybe they rework pick. Who knows, honestly? It's Dead by Daylight. If you would have told me that Dead Hard would have been nerfed to the absolute ground, like even 5 months ago, I would have called you a lie. See you on the flip side, everyone.